Music and life to the full. xRhythms.
Happy International Women's Day! What an incredible day it is that we get to support each other as women. We get to just appreciate, acknowledge and encourage the other females out there in just being ourselves, being liberated, being able to do things, stepping beyond our boundaries, bringing dreams to reality, all of that amazing, incredible things that we so graciously are able to do, especially here in the UK. And with the glorious theme of International Women's Day, there were 3 lovely women that I read about earlier this week, and their stories are just absolutely incredible. They're honestly going above and beyond what's expected within their communities and within their cultures, and really fighting for what they believe is right, and fighting for their ability for them and other women in their community to be and do the same thing. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about their stories, because I feel like there's so much great encouragement and just great spirit and attitude that we can get out of it. The first girl I want to tell you about is all the way in Bangladesh, and her name is Shanti. She is 15 years old, and over there in Bangladesh they have about 168 million people just in the country as a whole, and she is part of this little tribe which make up 1.1% of that 1.6 million people. So that's not that many people compared to the rest of the country. And over there in that little tribe of theirs, they have their own language, like their own way of speaking, which is different from the language that the rest of the country speaks, or at least most of the people in the rest of the country speak. And because of that, it makes it hard for little girls, little boys, or men and women to integrate into their educational system, because they don't speak the same language as the rest of the people, and so they don't really understand or fully understand the stuff that's being taught. And because of the issues that they face in the educational system, these young girls then usually have to pull out of education and out of school altogether and join their families in agricultural type of jobs, and which then just perpetuates their cycle and the family cycle of poverty. And so now our girl Shanti is so different from that. She's from this same group of people that struggle in the educational system, but she's always top of the class. But not only that, but she's actually broken the mold of the Shakama people. She is trilingual, so she speaks the languages and has been able to understand it to the point where she's gotten top of the class. And you know what? With that, she's even set an incredible example for the other Bangladesh girls out there. According to the World Bank, out of all the girls that are enrolled into schools in Bangladesh, only 28% of them actually finish the education system. So education in general is just not really valued for girls out there. And instead, most of the girls tend to go into, stay-at-home type of roles. They tend to be relegated into early marriage and just working from home. And for a lot of them, it's because they don't have any other options. And so Shanti's really just managed to break through that barrier, as she really saw that education was a really valuable thing for her. And so she was able to enroll into one of her local church's sponsorship programs, like the child sponsorship programs that you see with like Compassion and stuff. So she was one of those girls, and through that she managed to get all these amazing resources, such support, school uniform, this, that and the other, which has just helped her in her walk in her education, to the point where now she herself wants to be a teacher one day. And what really stands out to me in this is her character, and the fact that not only has she learned all of this stuff, but now she herself wants to be a teacher and take that out and invest into other girls and other little kids out there who might struggle with either the educational system, the language that they talk there, or whatever, but she wants to herself use her career in a way to help them. And I just think that that's a fantastic and incredible story of an amazing 15-year-old that is making such a mark, and that is already, like at her age, doing so much and thinking about the future and how to help and empower other young women out there. The second story to encourage you today is all the way from northern Thailand. So out there in the northern hill country of Thailand, there is a group of people, a community, the Hmong community. And in that community, they don't have much gender equality because women are actually counted as being inferior compared to the men. And because they're seen as inferior, they don't really value education for women because they see the women as they're just going to get married quite young and then they're just going to become a servant in the husband's household. In fact, it's really common for the girls out there to get married from as young as 13 years old. They actually have a tradition that says that the guys out there can like abduct a girl, just whoop, take her just like that, lock her in the room, and then she can then become his bride. And because of that, this incredible 17-year-old called Noji is just standing out from the rest of them. Firstly, because she's 17. Secondly, because she's 17 and not married yet. And thirdly, because she's 17, not married yet, and she is pursuing education. She herself also got enrolled into a local church that enabled her to get all these amazing resources and keep her educational desire and so on and growth going, to the point where her dad saw such a change in her, like her life, her character, everything, that he decided, you know what, we're gonna take the whole family and we're gonna go to church. No, but on a real note though, he saw that she had changed so much from just being around the people and being in the resources that she had available to her in that local program, that he decided to take the whole family to church. And their family then opened their hearts and their lives up to Jesus and started to adapt these biblical based values such as gender equality, education for girls, and rejecting forced early marriage, which is awesome because her siblings now are supported by her parents in not getting married early and in actually getting into education and developing themselves in that way and seeing where the endless possibilities can lead them. I feel like Noju's life is a pretty good token for just saving girls' futures. The local church, Noju's parents, and the people who are all in agreement about, you know, combating and going against early marriage can now actually help the girls within their community. And our third and final story is hopping all the way onto the other side of the world and stopping in Bolivia. And this is a girl called Esperanza. Now, she actually suffered from sexual abuse from when she was young, and it happened from people who were quite close to her. When she was 5 years old, she managed to get registered into a local compassion center, and she said that she actually got loads of refuge and enjoyed staying there because it helped her to not feel anxious, because when she was at home, she felt anxious. She was asked how she found strength and so on during all these times of being like abused by people who were close to her, and she said that she actually found loads of strength from her sponsor. The prayers and support that the sponsors gave really helped her to gain loads of strength, which I just think is absolutely incredible because those sponsors could have been on the other side of the world. And in that compassion center she was in, she managed to learn lots of truth, such as the fact that it's not her fault that all this stuff was happening to her, and that she was actually an innocent victim in a very evil deed. And the great thing is that while she was in that center is where her healing actually began. She opened her heart and her life up and invited Jesus into her life, and through that she managed to then start taking the steps for inner healing by forgiving the people that had offended her and that had abused her, and forgiving her parents for their failure because they were busy just being away from home and so on, forgiving them for not protecting her as she wanted to be protected. There's actually a statement from her which I want to read out that I thought was just so incredible. She said, "After I made the commitment to forgive, the oppression in my life disappeared. God rescued me from that dark world." Which is pretty cool because honestly, like, even myself, I've experienced that when you forgive someone, then it really helps to just set you free. And today, the awesome Esperanza is now a university graduate. She is a business professional, and she's working on becoming a motivational speaker for other young people so she can go out into their communities and just help them. She really wants to help them to understand their own purpose in their lives, just like her. All in all, I think these are incredible stories of young women who have come out on the other side of what would have been expected of them, and who now should be celebrated because of their heart and because of their desire to impact the people who are around them and people who might be experiencing the same type of challenges and so on that they faced. So some great encouragements that I'm taking out of it is anything that I struggle with, firstly, I can know that there is a God that is bigger than those struggles, and because there is, there's always hope and there is always a way out and there's always the other side, no matter what that is. And I can get so much healing, internal healing, from whatever issue it is I'm facing when I know that I can invite Jesus into my life. Second thing, if there is something that I struggled with, I can help other people. And I think we as women, this is what International Women's Day is about, isn't it? We should be empowering and helping other women, celebrating women in general because of the stuff that's available to us, especially here in the UK. We have so many opportunities, we have so much that we can do. So we should really celebrate that, and we should also empower other women who might not have the same opportunities maybe in other countries, or even in our community who might be going through something. We can empower them and help them out in whatever it is that they're struggling with. And so if there's something particular that it's like your area and that you have like a real heart for, I'd say go for it. Like, go for it and help those people, because honestly, sometimes we might feel small and insignificant, but really our story is so powerful to another person. So I encourage you to go out to do that, to help someone today. Maybe if you have an idea, to get started on it, because you know what, you are incredible and you can make such a big difference in other people's lives. So have a fantastic Women's Day. You're amazing, and yeah, let's rock it.